One of my favorite TV shows is Breaking Bad, and it brings to mind what would happen in the real world with Walter White if he were convicted of possessing with intent to distribute methamphetamine. First of all, the penalties are draconian. If it's 50 grams or more, which is a very small amount of ice, or 500 grams or more of something less pure, then one is facing a mandatory minimum sentence of 10 years in prison. And a death or bodily injury results, 20 years in prison, and facing a $10 million fine. All of this on the first offense. Secondly, as we know from the show, he was manufacturing extremely large quantities of the purest ice that had been seen in that region. And based on the federal sentencing guidelines and the quantity involved, he would be looking at life in prison without parole on his very first offense. So I think by watching a TV show like this and bringing its focus into the real world allows one to appreciate just how draconian the federal drug laws are and the federal sentencing guidelines as they relate to these drug laws. Now, I'm not saying drugs are a good thing. As we've seen from the show, they have caused a lot of harm. They've caused deaths. They've caused families to break up. But at some point, the punishment needs to fit the crime, and hopefully Congress will see to it, particularly on the much smaller levels, that people are engaged in the very first time on a drug offense don't end up with a mandatory minimum sentence of 10 years.